3, 2, 1, go!
Hello everyone and welcome. My name is iKmRni and thank you for clicking on the video. Today we're going to be continuing the series What Happened, and today's topic is going to be Need for Speed. But before we get straight into the video, guys, it will really help me out if you click the like button, and don't forget to join the Saiyan Army by clicking that subscribe button. So Need for Speed is one of those game titles that stuck around through thick and thin. It's been on multiple different platforms. It's shifted from PC and consoles, and now we got it pretty much on every single platform that is out, including mobile. But in my personal opinion, and I find that a lot of the fans of the Need for Speed series also believe that Carbon probably was the last good Need for Speed game. Now, personally, the height of the whole Need for Speed franchise was, for me, Underground 2 and Need for Speed Most Wanted. As you can see in the gameplay right here, Need for Speed Most Wanted was probably my favorite, in being it had probably the best map, the best cars in my opinion, and the customization, although it wasn't crazy like Underground, it still was pretty damn good. Need for Speed isn't one for making amazing stories, but the Most Wanted storyline, it was actually pretty cool when we had characters like Razor and Mia. Now, as you guys saw from the first clip in this gameplay, we actually had some Need for Speed 3 Hot Pursuit gameplay with the Lamborghini Diablo. Now, that was the first Need for Speed game I actually played back on Windows 98, I believe, running on DOS. Now, the gameplay experience of that game was phenomenal. We had some amazing tracks, a great license of cars. We had from like exotic Italian cars to exotic Japanese cars. They were all awesome to play as, and it all felt different. And of course, we had the awesome maps. So from iteration to iteration, Need for Speed actually changed with what the main focus and time was. So pretty much, back in the day, Need for Speed was like, get the fastest car and go around the track as fast as possible. Next, cops got into the whole situation, and then when Fast and Furious came around, we got to start seeing the street racing aspect in Need for Speed with the Underground series and Most Wanted. Now, those three were probably the best in my opinion, because it's nothing like we've ever seen before. Of course, there was Midnight Club, but they never did a good job compared to Need for Speed. Now, right after Most Wanted, the height, the peak of Need for Speed in my opinion, we came to Need for Speed Carbon, and it pretty much was a sequel to Most Wanted. Although I thought the sequel was kind of lacking and I didn't like the night aspect of the gameplay, it was still overall a good game. And then we got into Need for Speed's terrible timeline. Now, these Need for Speed games, such as the remake of the Most Wanted, the remake of the Hot Pursuit, really let me down. And I'll explain to you why this is, and I feel like a lot of fans share this opinion as well. If you ask an average person back in like 2007, 2006, and 2005 what they thought of Need for Speed, it would be cars, and a lot of cars, like Gran Turismo style cars. Now we don't have that. As you can see, guys, we have some new Need for Speed Rivals gameplay here, and I believe there's like 12 or 16 cars, and you can't even customize your cars. You can get like packages to customize it, and it's pretty much set default upgrades. So like if you get the second upgrade for like speed, you get a spoiler and a faster engine. Like, these are very vague upgrades for a Need for Speed game. I don't know what the hell they're thinking. I'm not exactly sure who's behind the development team for Need for Speed Rivals, but they did a complete humiliation of what the Need for Speed franchise really is. So I guess that'll be our number one point. The customization really let us down in the newer titles. For number two, would probably have to be the fast, seamless gameplay that we experienced in the previous Need for Speed games. When you crashed a car, there was no crazy animation of your car flipping over, getting obscene amounts of damage, and then you spawn back up with half the damage gone and your car is pretty much ready to go, but then you're like 30 seconds behind the guys. That is insanely annoying. If they're going to have a crash damage system where your car gets total like that, why not make your car actually total? Number three, like I said earlier in the video, the cars. The cars are seriously lacking in these Need for Speed titles. You're expecting to buy a game that is dedicated about racing and its customization in cars, and we don't get any cars in these newer games. Need for Speed Rivals is the worst game I've bought in the last 5 years. And that's saying something, because I've bought a lot of games. I just put in this game so I could get some gameplay out for you guys, and I hated every second of it. It is such an utter disappointment of the NFS franchise. Number four, and I don't know what they're thinking with these, it seems like the storyline is becoming more and more vague. Sure, the original Need for Speeds back in the early 90s and late 90s were pretty much just, here's a lap, race on it, evade the cops, and come in first place. But that's the 90s, okay? This was like the early time of video games. You expect, as time got along, that we would keep progressing and innovating in our storyline, such as Underground and Need for Speed Most Wanted, which in my opinion was the best storyline. And in Need for Speed Rivals, you're basically a street racer versus cop. There's like no cutscenes. There's no like backstory to these characters whatsoever at all. And pretty much the goal of it is just like the original Need for Speed. Race, come in first place, and evade the cops. So that's pretty much the end of the video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of the Need for Speed franchise and where it's heading. Let me know what your favorite Need for Speed game is. As I said earlier in the video, Need for Speed Most Wanted, in my point, was the pinnacle of the franchise. But hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Be sure to click the like button if you really did, and be sure to click the subscribe button to join the Saiyan Army. And once again, guys, I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed.